Do you ever feel like you're stuck with the skills and talents that you were born with? Or maybe you find yourself avoiding challenges because what's the point if you're going to fail anyway? Well, you're not alone. Many people mistakenly believe that their abilities are set in stone. But what if I told you you had the power to change that? In this video, I'm going to show you how shifting your fixed mindset to a growth mindset can open up new possibilities that you never imagined using these jars, some water, and a little bit of sand. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Rachel and I've been teaching middle level school for over 20 years. Although it's true that nobody is immune to a fixed mindset, I have seen this over and over and over again every year that I teach. It shows up in the form of a student saying, I'm not good at math, I hate reading, I suck at writing. And those beliefs stick with them to the point that they simply would prefer to give up than to try and fail. Why? They'll claim it's because it's just who they are. No matter your age, today I'm excited to show you this demonstration that represents the powerful difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, and how simply shifting the words and thoughts you tell yourself can allow you to become a master at something you never dreamed possible. In front of me, I have a bowl labeled fixed and a jar labeled growth. The sand represents the limiting beliefs that we have, what we call fixed. A lot of times we don't even realize that we have them because it's just the way we've been brought up. Sometimes they come from a past event that has created some negative emotion that now we've connected to as reality. So when a student attempts to answer a question in class, let's say, and they get it wrong, and then they hear the snickers and the scoffs in the background, they get embarrassed. They decide, I'm never putting myself through that again. And by the way, since I got it wrong, I must not be good at it. The problem is these limiting beliefs can often weigh us down. People with a fixed mindset often think this is just how things are. And then they can often feel stuck, kind of like sand in the jar, unable to change or grow. Now this jar is labeled growth and it's filled instead with water. The water represents growth and learning and the ability to adapt and expand. You'll see that it's more fluid than the sand. And yes, I know water is a fluid, but what I mean is you notice the fluidity of the water. It is able to move around effortlessly and it's less rigid. For clarity, a fixed mindset is the belief that our abilities, intelligence, and talents are fixed and they cannot change. Basically, you're either born with it or you're not. A growth mindset, however, is the belief that our abilities and our intelligence can be developed with effort, learning, and perseverance. So what happens when we introduce a growth mindset to a fixed mindset? Let's find out. As we add some water, growth mindset, to the sand, fixed mindset, notice how it starts to change. The sand doesn't completely disappear, but you can see how it starts to mix. The more growth mindset you add, the more the fixed particles seem to move around. Now you can't just decide to have a growth mindset and think things are going to change overnight. You've spent years building up your fixed mindset. So it only stands to reason that if you really want to shift your mindset into a growth mindset, it's going to take some time, but that's okay. Notice what happens the more you shift your thinking. The fixed thoughts are still there. It's harder to see them, but they're still underlying. If you stop adding your growth mindset, your fixed mindset will certainly settle and become solidified again. So it's important that you keep at it over time. Although any change is hard, and sometimes it seems impossible at first, the more growth mindset we add, the easier it becomes to get the sand out, those fixed thoughts. This has to be a thought process that you're willing to do constantly, even when the thoughts pop up saying, you can't do this, you suck at this, you'll never get it, everyone else is better. Especially on those days when those thoughts come in, it's really important to add more water. Because here's the thing, there are always going to be people and their opinions, and sometimes those messages are going to come in and support your fixed mindset. It's going to happen every day, every week, every month, constantly. So whether it is other people's opinions or your personal obstacles or setbacks, that sometimes we call failures, but failure is absolutely a good thing. When you add enough water, eventually those things won't bother you because you're continuing to build a growth mindset. So the more you practice a growth mindset, the more momentum you have. And this momentum will help you avoid going back to your old ways that support your limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs are exactly like they sound. They limit you from doing all kinds of amazing things. Just like in our minds, adopting a growth mindset means embracing challenges, learning from experience, and continuously expanding our abilities. It is the understanding that not everything in life comes easy, and that's okay. But with effort and perseverance, determination and dedication, you can do anything you put your mind to. And eventually, when it just becomes a way of thinking, look at what happens. Now, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but there's still some sand in there. There's still some of those fixed beliefs in there. But you just put in a whole lot of growth mindset. So does that mean that it doesn't work? No. Remember when I said this is a long process? This is a spot where many people will just give up because growth mindset is a lot of conscious hard work. You have to think about changing your beliefs. You have to work at changing your beliefs. You have to do the things when you're scared. You have to be okay with failing. It's just a reminder that in fixed situations, we can add a growth mindset and start to see the possibilities for change and improvement. When you continue along the path, look what happens next. Eventually, your growth mindset clears the path. So is it a long journey? Yes. But is it worth it? Absolutely. The choice between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset is like choosing between sand and water in a glass. Embrace that fluidity of growth and you're going to find yourself learning and adapting and overcoming obstacles effectively. Thank you for joining me in this demonstration. Keep on filling your cups with water, not sand.